clarity of ooh, and what actually is that delay.
It was finally, where was your truck not in your sight? Okay. Oh, I remember.
9. We should be live now.
You see us?
Not yet. Not on the page.
Yesterday, I got a message that you're about to start.
I remember seeing that too.
And I checked it because I was like, "Ooh, am I starting yesterday?" And then I looked it really good, and it said no, not today. Oh, Andrea.
Are we in glitch?
Nope, we're right there. There we are. Okay. Good morning, Embody community. And
Good morning, good morning.
yes, and we're so excited to be on live with our 5-day challenge. And let's see. So let's just start from the beginning. So I'm Carrie.
And I'm Andrea.
Yes. And so we created this 5-day challenge as a reEmPower. And the reason that we decided to come in with reEmPower is we were recognizing how we give our power away. And we often, my experience is when I spend a lot of time with people, I'll hear how they say they believe they gave power away. Before I do that, let's talk about the formalities. I just get so excited. I was so excited. I'm like, okay, let's talk about reEmPower. It's like, whoo. Okay, hold on.
We can come back to this.
Yes, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. So first, the things that are going to be in the challenge for this week. So let's talk a little bit about that, and then I'll go back to reEmPower because it's just so super exciting. And so so what we have done is we have included some worksheets and PDF files, and underneath of the tab, you'll find on the Embody Community page a tab that says Guide. And if you click on the Guide tab, under that, you'll find every single day listed there. And in every day, we have a homework assignment for you. And this is to help you dive deeper into what you're going to hear Andrea and I speak into this week. And we do have special guests that will be showing up as well that we're super excited about. And so we have 3 lovely ladies that are facilitators in pure speech, and they're going to speak into different elements of reEmPower, because the different ways that we have given our power away, they have massive experiences to share with us to help you have a deeper understanding of where you may have left your power. And in your guide section, those deep exercises just allow you to find things that you may have yet to touch, things that you are unaware of. And what we're recognizing is that our subconscious is really tricky, and we often believe, oh, I got that, I got that, I got that. Or perhaps I've already done I love this one. I've already done the work on that. Done that, done, good, got that one. And yet it's still acting, and it may be in a different form where you gave your power away. There's like different ways that we do it that we are yet to understand. So Andrea and I have sat and collaborated and created these great sheets that help you to bring up very simply, very quickly, some of the ways in which you've given your power away. So they're underneath the guide section. And then we've also included a hashtag. We did a hashtag for every day. Andrea, what's today's hashtag?
Today's hashtag is hashtag my pattern.
Hashtag my pattern, because today we're going to step in to find your pattern. And so what we're asking is that after you've listened to this, if there's something that you hear that you're just like, oh my gosh, yes, yes, then you just put a comment underneath of the video down in the comment section, either yes or either what you got. If you choose to share, share. If you choose to just say, oh, yes, this is, I'm awake, or I see anything, we're asking that you add to that the hashtag. What was it again?
My pattern.
Ooh, my pattern. There's something in that for me.
It's your signal and your little delay.
Oh, wow. Okay. And we do this for ourselves.
Yes, and there are some directions, if you will, for the homework assignments. And if you have or require any deeper clarity, please feel free to message us directly, and we will get back to you as soon as possible.
Awesome. And what we are remembering is that we can ask for support. So it absolutely, if you have a question, you can send us a private message. You can put it in the comments if you choose, and just ask so that you help yourself get clarity on what exactly may be acting for you that you've discovered, or perhaps there's just something in the directions that you require a little more information. And that's okay, because these are the first steps, and this is why we're doing this, is so that you can experience the first steps and see exactly what this looks like.
And I just choose to say quickly that asking for support by asking questions is it's part of our movement for receiving as women. And we have long, collectively in consciousness, we have been believing that we are required to do it all by ourselves, that we're the only ones. And so part of the embodied community is to give safe and secure space for us to ask for what we required, to seek support, to ask others what their experience has been in the collective in the past, so that we all have a place to just uh, say and share.
Yes. Okay, now. Now let's speak about reEmPower. So the coming up with the name reEmPower was exactly, Andrea and I have given questions on this page, and we've noticed that we spoke into that receiving is something that many of us have yet to do. And because we believe we are doing it all. And when we posted several questions, it became very clear that when we posted, what do you say? And people say thank you. And some people said, oh, I say no worries. And I said, so you say worry, worry, and you worry all the time. Or you say, it's okay. And when we are yet to say you're welcome, we are not receiving their thank you. And so when you step in and simply say you're welcome, I even played with a client and I said, just say you're welcome, see what happens. And she was like, oh my gosh, like it feels so much different in my body. And it does, because you can feel how when you either don't respond or you say it's okay, how it's a blocking. It's not fully receiving. And so perhaps that's one way that you've given your power away, is because you're trying to hold on to all of your power, and yet you've diluted it by not receiving what people are saying to you and how people are thanking you. So when we speak about reEmPower, we are actually speaking into the return of our power and how many beliefs we've had, because it's what we believed in that we gave our power away. Someone that says may say no worries or it's okay or says something other than you're welcome may have a belief that they have to do everything. My mother taught me that if you're going to be in control of a situation, you have to do everything. And if you're not in control, it gets really, really scary because you don't know what's going to happen next. So somebody who does that is believing in, I've got to do everything, or nothing will get done, or what will happen. And just the fear of what could happen is enough to say, just get it all done. And that's one of the beliefs in where we've given our power away, because that kind of act is exhausting.
Yes.
When we do it all ourselves, it is absolutely exhausting. And so we're remembering that that particular instance is one belief structure. And so we're recognizing here what we've been believing in that we had to do. Some belief that this is the way it has to be. This is how we do things in my world. This is how we do things. And yet in those same moments, we're exhausted because we have depleted our own power. So today, this week, is about massive reempowerment. And it's in power, really empowerment. So coming back into you, your massive return on power. Because anytime we've given something away or we've had a belief in something, and it's also a belief in lack that we have less of. And when we speak into all of those things, well, we're just limiting. I mean, we're making ourselves tired. We're making it hard. We are not of the allowing of the massive return of our power in ease. And so this week we'll be speaking on those things. And then Andrea's going to speak a little bit about language and just our words and how our power leaves with just our words.
Yes. And so just a little bit about belief. The word itself, belief or believe, is literally translates in pure speech, which is what we're playing in, is to be alive in. And our lives are made up, our reality, where we are right now, are based in our beliefs. And so we have beliefs that come from what our parents taught us about ourselves, what perhaps religion, nationality, culture. And if you will give yourself just a moment to think about how you feel about your life right now. And so if you're feeling tired, if you're feeling angry, if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling upset, if you're feeling joy, these are the things these are the beliefs that are currently running. Now we may believe in other things. Our heart desire believes in love. We believe in faith. We believe in spirit. We believe in friendship and family. But are these the things that are easy right now, or are these the things that are hard? And the true belief of how you feel, this is your feeling, is your belief right now. And so what we're doing is we're re-empowering, and we're going to teach you and be with you and support you and how to move from what is acting to what we truly desire. And so our perception of something becomes the belief. And just to kind of give you, if 5 people see a car accident, everybody sees something different. And so that's our belief, whatever it is that we see. And while it is our perception and becomes our belief, it may not be completely true. And so where do our beliefs become from? And they first actually, they come in from parents and grandparents, and there's things that are in collective through our bodies and our experiences that stay in our unconscious, subconscious, unknown area. And then there's also what we're dealing with through this next couple of days truly is about the things that we've heard and said that have become beliefs because of things we have heard or said. And so one of the things that we talk about in pure speech or in consciousness, we say that, and science has proven this, every single word, thought, and feeling carries a vibration. And that vibration is actually what it goes into our body and it creates a peptide in our brain. And why is that important? Because brain peptides are the change that create our DNA. And so when we are hearing, thinking, or feeling things, whether they're negative or positive, we are reprogramming and rewiring the human brain. And I've said before, and you may have yet to hear it, but there are 100 billion receptors in your brain. That's more stars than the Milky Way. And each receptor has the ability to create 10,000 new pathways through thought, feeling, and words. And so our words and everything, they impact, potential clear impact. We have a reaction in the frontal portion of our brain. This is where our language centers are. And it affects what's known as the parietal lobe. And we're not going to go down that rabbit hole. And so the things that we hear with regularity, whether they be negative or they be positive, is based on our thoughts, feelings, and words. And if you can remember an experience you may have had as a child, perhaps with school, where a teacher told you you did really well on a math test or really poorly on something. And so it began to change your experience of learning, maybe just with one subject, but it may have had it may have affected you across all subjects. So I had an experience with the math test that I did so well that I was accused of cheating because it had not been my experience in the past. And so this began to change the way that I looked at math and how I felt about school and how I can and I can't. I can't do numbers. I can't do numbers. I can't do math. And so math became difficult for me all the way through school. And this is how we have an experience that goes in that affects our subconscious, that becomes our perception, which becomes our belief, which becomes our reality. I'm bad at math. And from the words that we hear over time, if you're told that you were beautiful and that you are loved and you are worthy, these are the things that you come to believe in. But if you're told you can't do that right, you suck at this, we keep doing that, you're not good enough, is what goes in. And there is no judgment. We're not blaming parents, we're not blaming teachers. It is what it is. And it's not that somebody was taking our value from us, it's what we've heard. It's become our belief. And this is what has formed the foundation of what we consider to be our reality. And remember, as I said, perception does not make it true. And we come in with these God-given, spirit-given, love-given, universal-given states of pleasure and joy and happiness. And that's as a child, we are born precious. We are born valuable. We are born worthy. And our experiences take us off of that. And so when Carrie and I began to embody This is why we chose the word or named it embodies, because it's a natural state. It is a gift that we were given when we came into this onto this planet. We are born in it with it, and it becomes as natural as our breath. And so this is what we are re-empowering, is the natural state of grace for which we were that we were brought into when we came here, that we have been taken away from because of our experiences, our perceptions that created a belief that is different about the truth of who we are.
Yes, and what we're experiencing in life that we have believed in, we have often come into compulsion. And what you may have told yourself that I spoke about earlier that is giving your power away, and what you may have believed in is something that you believe in daily, and you believe it again and again and again and again and again and again and again. And as we've said, it becomes the hamster wheel of life where you're just going in a circle. So there's often people will, my clients will come see me because they feel stuck, and they feel stuck, and it's because the reason they're stuck is because they're living their lives in massive compulsion. I do this, then I do this, then I do this, then I do this. Oh, nothing changes. I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this. Oh, nothing changes. I do this, I do this. And we repeat it again and again, and we may believe we're doing it completely differently. That means we may be alive in, I've done this completely differently. I'm not sure why the same thing keeps happening, or why nothing's changing, or why I have the feeling of being stuck, period. And what we're seeing is how we play the game of compulsion, how we play the pattern over and over again is very simply gotta, have to, should. I've got to do this. There's one way. I've got to do this. I have to do this, or I should. And those are some really common ways that we find massive compulsion and how we've given our power away. The power over or the power in. So I've been a yoga teacher for 20 years. And what we know in the third chakra is we speak about will. And there's will, and then there's power inside of your will. And the question becomes, are you believing in power over or power in? Because there's a difference. We can't just ignite our third chakra and talk about will and do a lot of breath in just our belly and start stuff moving. And yet we're not even clear on what's happening. And it's power over commonly, because when you walk around every day and you say, well, I've got to go to the store. I've got to go to the store. Oh, I've got to go pick up Johnny. I've got to go do this. I've got to go do that. That's power over. And that's one very simple way that we give our power away, because that's power over the belief that you've got to. That is eliminating choice. That is removing choice. And what we're remembering is that we always have a choice. As Andrea always reminds me, how many choices did you make just to get to right here, right now, this morning? And that means, oh, I chose to get out of bed. I chose to brush my teeth. I chose to take a shower. I chose to get dressed. I chose to put these earrings on. I chose to drink my coffee. I chose to sit down. I chose to turn my computer on. So these may seem like little choices, and what we're remembering is choice knows no size. It only is what it is. And so the more we choose and we acknowledge that we are choosing, if you can recognize, I chose to get up this morning. Oh, wait, I do have a choice. If you recognize just there that you've given choice, you automatically start empowering choice in you. And so instead of saying, I've got to go to the store, I choose to go to the store, because you do have a choice. You can not go to the grocery store and eat what's in your refrigerator, eat what's in your pantry, or you can go out to eat, or you can call a friend, or you can have your stuff delivered, or, I mean, we have magnitudes of choices, and yet we're living our lives in complete compulsion of, I have to go to the store. I have to, I've got to. Those are phrases that keep us in this hamster wheel going around and round. I have to, I've got to. And often I'll have people tell me, I have no choice. My employer says it's this way or this way. I have no choice. Well, there's two choices. It's this way or this way. And there's always more choices. The way we do that is we give power to our choice. And we do that by simply saying, I choose to go to the store. So when we're speaking of empowerment and compulsion, what we're asking is, where are you compulsive in life? What phrases do you use daily that give your power away, that keep you in compulsion, which keeps the pattern going? And it may be, because we gave you a sheet to print out so that you can go and you can circle. We gave you a list on your worksheet to find your pattern of different phrases that people are saying and to circle the ones that you find the most. And some people may say, if only they did this, then I could. If only they did this, then well, if only my child would pick up his room, then I could do this. Well, if only my husband would go to the store, then I could do this. If only they would do this. And there's no ownership, and that eliminates your power, and that eliminates your choice because you're believing somebody else has to do something to enable your choice. And if we're believing somebody else has to do something, then where is our choice? We've left it behind on somebody else. And so, again, it's another piece of compulsion of where we find all of that going around and round. And so I choose to share something here with you that we have written about our brain's primary function. And our brain's primary function is to keep us safe and alive. And one of the ways our survival brain works is to make sure that we fulfill what keeps us in the mode of success, getting it all done. Let's say that again. Our brain's primary function is to keep us safe and alive. And one of the ways our survival brain works is to make sure we fulfill what keeps us in a mode of success, getting it all done. And what we're finding is how many people have been alive in how I get it done is I have to do this. I've got to do that. If only they did this, then I'd be able to do that. And that's the way. Staying in compulsion, having to, ought to, should have is just the examples. We have taken on getting things done as a survival mechanism, in that if we can't do it all or be it all, we are failures. And just recognizing a belief that we are already a failure if we don't all get this done. I mean, how much massive anxiety is in our world today? And that is the compulsion of, I gotta hurry, get this done, I gotta get this done, oh, if this happens, and your brain is running all of these different storylines, and you're in there compulsively either trying to put them out or trying to mark them off your list with the belief that once I check everything off, then I'll be okay. And is that true, or does it just begin again?
No, because there's always more. There's always more.
Yes, and there's always more. And the thing that we're remembering about there's always more is that we can give power to there's always more choices and there's always more glory. When we're in this whole thing of we've got to get everything done, because once I check everything off, well, then it starts again. There's the whole long list again, but that's because we've given our power to this long list of things to do when we could be giving our power to, I have so many choices.
And our brains are what I what I've come to and learned, and science is demonstrating is our brains are hardwired to succeed, but we've been programmed to fail, not only by the words, thoughts, and feelings that we've experienced, but this programming of success versus failure, it goes way back into ancestral, when um, the first people who walked the planet, the nomadic tribes, if they couldn't find food or couldn't find water within a reasonable amount of time, they would cease to be on the planet. And if things did not happen, small little things that had a massive impact, not on the quality of life, but life itself. And we are in running programs that say if we don't get to the quality, that we're failures. And so every decision if you really think about it, every decision that we've ever made along our path, whatever that may be, has been in order to survive at a greater rate. And so when we were kids or teenagers, we might have thought that having a car was the end all be all. Well, then we got the car, and then we wanted a better car. So we made some choices about school, and then we made choices in school about what we were going to do so that we could get the better car. And then we got the better car after we got out of school, and then we had other things. And then there was the first house, and then we need a bigger house, and we need a better house, and then we need. And so we are literally on a path that tells us day in and day out that we aren't doing enough to be enough, because we're not good enough. Because the way that it is we have a goal, and we reach that goal, and then I can do more. So, and then when I have more, I'll be happy. I'll be more happy. And then when I be more happy, I can even be happier or do more or have more or be more or do more. And so we're trying to do more, to have more, to care more. And all we're doing is depleting. And so it's not about the quantity, but about the quality. That is where our true value is found. And if we're living life in great quantity, have we met the quality of our own value? And so it's survival. And we seem so far removed, for many of us here, while there are plenty who live in survival in other places. And um, it seems so far removed, yet the programs are still running.
And what we're remembering is that we can upgrade our life. Yes, you can buy a new house, you can make the change. It's all the energy in which it comes from.
Yes.
It's the energy in which it comes from. Because if it's the energy of I've got to do this to get to this, to got to do this, you are living in compulsion, and there is less power there. You have given your power to all of the gotta, the have to, the shoulds, and it is tiring, and it's always a grind, and it's like moving through mud to get to the next spot. And then you get there, you're free of the mud, and you jump up and down, and you're all really great. It's glorious. Then you turn around and you're back in the mud again. And it becomes very difficult because ease has gone. Ease is, you've given ease away. You've in our world, we have often believed that the easy way is the less rewarding. The easy way won't get you the new house. The easy way won't get you the new car. The easy way, it's got to be hard to get it done. So I've gotta, I have to, and I should. I should have done this. Now I can. So I've got to do this to get to here, to be here, to have this, to have the next thing, which we know ask and ye shall receive is how it is done. And yet we've left that behind. We've replaced it with our own language. And so we're finding what you are really alive in. What you are, because be alive in. What are you really alive in? I hear people all the time, I believe in this. I believe in this. I believe hard work pays off. I believe that I have to do this. I have a degree plan. And I believe I have to do this because once I go here, then I'll graduate here, then I'll get this, then I'll get my master's, then I'll get this raise. And so what are you alive in? That there's a system that tells you how you find your ease. Like there's a degree plan for ease. Once I get this master's or this PhD, then I will have landed it and my job will now be easy. Well, then you've given your power to it takes these things to have ease when you could have ease all the way through the whole entire process. And you may find that you don't require all those degrees. Because once we embody ease with just coming into simple phrases of I choose to go to the store. I remember I can. And one of the things Andrea said is we believe it's not good enough. And who's clarifying what good enough is? Oh, well, such and such says that I've got to do it this way because then I get to hear. Really? Or is it you that is believing that my house has to be fully clean, everything must be put away for it to be called clean? You're the one doing that. Because if you go to somebody else's house, their definition of clean is going to be completely different than yours. And so we can change our belief in recognizing that it doesn't have to check everything off the list. And we define what is good enough. And it's not even, the words good enough are really depleting. They just, or is it glorious? Is it glorious that you have a home and you live with people and you have an experience every day of waking up in a home where you have people around you? Is that glorious, or is it not good enough because you've got to have 2 more babies to make it good enough? Then I'll be good. Once I can have some more, but perhaps, and I'm having trouble having children, and so once I have them, then I know everything will be okay.
It's remember when you desired where you are. Can you remember when you desired to have, to be, to do where you are today? And that was going to be enough. And here you are. And does it feel as if this is enough? And so regardless of what you accomplish or have, or the more money, if you have yet to embody and reEmpower your own state of my best is enough, I am already good enough, you're going to stay in this pattern and going. And what I loved, so Carrie said, so we've been making choices in a survival pattern, in a state of lack. And so regardless of what we choose, if the energy, and she was talking about energetically, we may have $1 million in the bank and desire to buy $100,000 toy, and there's plenty of money for it, yet the energy is like, I just don't know. Should I? Am I worth it? I really want it. That is not an aligned choice. And so when we choose what we desire from an aligned place in ourselves energetically, where we have a yes, or our energetic no, whatever that may be, that's what we go with. And that's when we know that we're walking ourselves actually through the pattern. And I loved that you said choice knows no size. That was new for me to hear. And we talk about our subconscious has does not know time or space, and it doesn't know if you're dealing with a sandcastle or the Empire State Building. And so our choices, what Carrie was saying, that is amazing to me and gives me such grace and ease, is even if it's starting with I choose to go to the grocery store today or I choose to go tomorrow, and then give yourself some gratitude that you said what you really desired and you answered the call of your own heart. And that just, this is what begins to create massive ease in our bodies. And just, we've said we have no choice. I remember I always thought I was like, I could do one or the other. And then I had the reality that I can actually do both today. I can go to work and do this and see this client and have dinner with my sister.
Yes,
That's
and
how
then we will
far back
believe
we've
that
been
there'll
pulled.
be, and then we will believe that there's only two choices. If we stay in, I can only do this and only do this, then are you receiving your other options? And that's where our receiving, that's another way that we are required to believe that there's always more choices. And you may not know yet. And that's okay. Like we have people, I have clients that are faced with jobs, and I mentioned, oh, you have to do it this way, or you have to do it this way. And these are my only choices. I had a client when COVID all started, and she said, well, I'm a teacher, and my boss says I do this or I do this. That's just the reality, Carrie. It's just reality. I know what you're all speaking of and all stuff, but let me tell you about reality and what's happening right now. And I said, well, that's what's happening for you right now. And that's because you're believing in it. If you believe there's more choices, they'll come to you. It requires patience and simply believing that there's more choices, because
And
the moment that you are open to receiving, just the
share
simple, I receive my choice.
share what happened as a result of her shifting her belief.
So, and what happened was, it was so funny, because she was believing that she either had to go to school or she was going to lose her job. These were her two options, and she had this belief around going to school. It was like, with COVID and the children, and I'm going to go to school and it's unsafe, or I'm going to lose my job. I'm going to go to school, it's unsafe, I'm going to lose my job. And I said, is there more choices? And when she stepped into the fact that I can have more choices, she went to work, and her job was completely different. It didn't have all this yucky. Her whole room was designed completely different. Everything was set up very different. And she was able to choose how her room was run. And what ended up happening is this environment that she believed was going to be so icky because they were going to be in here with me and I didn't know what was going on. And can you do can you do it your own way? Do you have the choice to have your classroom your home own way and be with children in a whole new way? That's what many teachers have discovered during this whole thing, is now I'm able to be with my students in a whole new way. I've been able to experience them completely differently. I've had the smaller classes, I've had the intimate settings, I've been able to be with people. And that's what she experienced. It was play at a whole new level. She was able to play with them completely differently. But if you're going to go into, I have this icky choice, I'm going to be in this room and be stuck, and I'm not going to know what's going to happen to these people, are going to have germs and something's going to be going on, something's going to get me, or I have no job and I have no money and I'm going to be at home and I'm going to be sad, I'm not going to, or you have it your way, because her true desire was to teach and enjoy children. That was her desire. Her desire was she loved her job and she loved being with children and she loved playing with them. And her choice was that. And I said, okay, then stay in the energy of loving being with children and playing with children. And when we stay in memory of remembering how it feels to play and be with children and have it be easy, then her principal said, yes, they all have to be in this room, the door has to be shut, and you can do it however you just choose to do it. And she was like, play! And everybody got to play, and it was beautiful. So you have to ask yourself, or cancel, I empower you to ask yourself, what am I really choosing to feel? Because it's not itemized in our mind. I told Andrea the other day, what I'm recognizing is that when a feeling comes up and it takes me out, I'm believing in something that is, you'll have your feeling scale that we've sent you, and there's a list on the left and there's a list on the right. And the left is what we're believing in: anger, fear, I don't know, unconscious, as opposed to what we truly are meant to be and meant to be experiencing are forgiveness, joy, ease, love, and I remember. And when you begin to find the feeling that you are truly desiring, what is it you're desiring? Because you go, well, I'm just desiring the new house. I'm just, what is the new house represent for you? What feeling? Oh, security, stability. Oh, then be in the feeling of security and stability. And when she stepped into the feeling of play and realizing that play and fun and being with is how, that's my choice, then she was open to all the flexibility that was available to her in her new classroom setting. So we just remember the feeling behind it here, because our brain is the one that's scared. Then that's what I had told Andrea the other day. Oh, I'm realizing it's my brain that's believing in all of this. It's my brain that goes, oh, from fear to faith. What's faith again? Man, my body doesn't even know what faith is. And that's my head saying I don't know what faith is. Because my heart says my faith is my love. Because I'm a massive nurturing soul. That's who I am. I have massive love inside of me. And my mother gifted me that. That came down my DNA, that there's massive love inside of me, massive nurturing love. So if I know how to be with other people in nurturing love and to be with my children because my mother gifted me that was already in me, then how is it that I have yet to touch faith? Because my faith is love. That's my largest power. And so we're remembering that that's what I can be alive in. And all of that fear, that's my head believing in the 50 scenarios that you're running down. So take it to your feeling world, and on your sheet it'll be what words are coming out, and then how the words are making me feel. How are they making you feel on that list? Because those words are mental. And so what are those mental words? How are the mental words making you feel? And then what is your new choice? We're coming into what our new choice is. Now the other thing, though, that I choose to bring awareness to here is, how do you know you're in survival mode? You may go, oh, well, I have these words. Okay, I've got into these words. But what we've done here is, it's not just pure speech, but it's body language. So, Andrea, will you speak into what signals we find in our body that allow us to recognize compulsion is actually existing?
So yes, thank you. And Carrie and I we just did the body language lab, our body speaks, and our body has is a primary communicator for us in symptomology. And so, how do you know if you are actually living in survival? So, if you're experiencing clouded thoughts, I get fuzzy, I can't think, I need it to be quiet, I'm not sure what I think, I don't know, I can't think right now, give me a minute. Will you let me? Will you stop and be quiet and let me think? That is in a fear, survival, running mode, because we have given our power out to someone else, to our world, that says, oh my gosh, I'm not doing it well enough. So I need total silence. I can't deal in chaos. I go, so if you're in cloudiness or doubt, you're living in survival. And you may come and go from these. This is not, it may not decidedly an inherent state. It's something that comes and goes. If if you're feeling shaky or jittery or restless, whether you're seated, standing in line, laying in bed, this is a symptom of us leaving our body. And that whatever we're experiencing as uncomfortable and we're choosing to run in some form or fashion that's creating this jittery for us. If you have an experience where your breath changes, this is definitely a symptom of being in survival. You may feel your heart get faster. It may palpitate some. And what's funny to me is that fear, fight or flight, which is what it is, survival, fear, fight, or freeze, falling in love and fear of a lion feel the same. It's that same response. And that what that tells me is how we have love wired in our bodies. And I learn this on a deeper level with some regularity the more I give myself my own awareness. And so you may breathe faster. And one of the greatest bring yourself back into your body and slow down is just to take a conscious breath and say, I breathe in and I let go. Because the mind can't run when we're breathing in consciousness. Um, Racing heart changes our breath as if we're running. Again, leaving our body, fear is playing. You may feel a tingling in your chest. You may feel pressure come in as well. If you are experiencing numbness in your outer limbs, your fingers, your toes, your feet, this is being in survival because in survival mode, all the blood goes, it concentrates so that we are ready to run. And this is numbness is our feeling world returning or coming back online. I said tightness in the chest. This is this is in constriction because our lungs are how we pump air through our bodies as quickly as we possibly can when we're in fight or flight. Changes our breath, changes our heart, but our lungs are the signal for inspiration. And are you fully inspired? Are you living in full inspiration? And when we are in fight or flight, we'll take short breath and so that we can't breathe. And when we stop, we can take in and remember, I am inspired. I can stay in my body. It's okay if I feel afraid. It's okay if I desire to run. It's all everything we feel is okay. The beauty is recognizing where we are. Because when we know where we are is when we can choose something different. And it's only in the moment that we recognize whatever it is that we're experiencing, whether it's through our language patterns, our feeling, or our emotions, that we can make a new choice. And what we say is that when we have when we're aware of a thing, whatever that thing may be, then we have power over this thing. And so awareness is the moment of aha. It's the epiphany of what has truly been acting. what we have truly been believing in. And when we realize, really see, really hear what we have been believing in, we say, oops, and my new choice is. And so I am in a massive movement around love and what love is and what I have believed about love and believing in love and trusting love, and had a new awareness of the role that I have played in how I have closed the door on love. And my new choice is believing that I'm secure to stay and love stays. And until I got to where I am and where I was this very morning, that was yet to be possible for me, because I had yet to fully own all the bits and pieces. And is there going to be more? Yes, there's always more, because love is greater than anything ever. And so, what we say, one of the things that this is one of my most favorite quotes, and it's from Gabrielle Bernstein, and she says, a miracle is a shift in our perception, a holy instant when an ancient hatred becomes a holy love, a moment when anger, pain, and resentment moves and release the block of energy and become aware of the truth of our truth. And if you don't know Gabby Bernstein, she is a follower of Marianne Williams. And so this is what we're doing, is we're becoming aware of where we have been so that we can choose to move in to the truth of our truth. And that's going to come about.
I was just, so it's, I
Go
love
ahead.
how energy works. I was just imagining that exact quote. I was going, okay, the miracle, the miracle, the miracle, the miracle quote. I love that quote. And it's also, it's a belief in miracles. And we often,
Yes.
it's a belief in miracles. And we often believe, I ask people, do miracles happen every day? They're like, yes. And I'm like, so if, if you are not receiving, how will you receive your miracle?
And
And
there's
are you allocated only one?
no, and the belief that what what we think miracles look like is that they're handed down from some great source, and there's going to be arcs of angels and glory and yet the awareness that is the miracle, and that's how this will often feel in our bodies, is that glory.
Yes, and we're remembering that um, just the simple decree of I receive my miracles. I give myself permission to receive my miracles. That's the doorway. That opens the doorway, and that allows to come in. But if we're believing we got to get it done, we got to have to should. Where's the space for the miracle to come in? If we're compulsively going from here and going from here, our thoughts are massive and they're repeating again and again and again and again, and we're yet to know how we feel because of everything we thought. Where's the slowdown and allowing the miracle to happen? It doesn't mean you get in bed, you get in the corner, you bury yourself, you stay inside all day, you're quiet all day, you wait for it to land. Where's the miracle? Where's the miracle? That's one way to do it. It doesn't require that, and that's what we're learning. Is it doesn't require a, well, I've got to be inside and quiet and stay quiet all day. I must do a retreat in silence for a week, and then I'll be able to get my miracle. No, your miracles happen every day. It's simply of just the allowing. So what we're getting here today is our words are what we're alive in. And simply changing our words shift our current reality and what we are believing in. And so by the simple shift of language from I have to, I've got to, if only they would, into I can, I choose, with the simple things of the day. When I said choice knows no size, when we do it with what we believe is the small things, you may believe the store is a small thing, the cleaning of the house is a small thing, and the job and getting a new job, getting a new house, finding a new beloved. Um, all of those things may seem really big in size of going to the store, but yet the energy of them is all completely the same. And so we begin to know all of our choices and allow ourselves to receive all of our choices by beginning what we in the world have labeled as the small things. I choose to go to the store. I choose to get up. Oh, look, I'm choosing to brush my teeth. I'm choosing to do this. I'm choosing, look at me. I'm choosing here. Look at me. I'm choosing here. And the more we dance with, I'm choosing, I'm choosing, I'm choosing, check out my choices, check out my choices. And we're coming into all of that. The more we do that, the more what we believe are the big things, the choices become clear and the choices open, and you allow yourself to receive your miracles.
I choose, I choose, I choose.
I choose, I choose, I choose, and I really, really choose.
The shift in energy was so fun. Yeah.
I really, really choose. And because I laugh. I went on a trip last summer to Lake Cumberland. I have a large group of friends that we've known each other since childhood, and they spent a week on a ship with me. And by the end of the trip, like everybody was choosing. They were like, I choose, I choose. And they were like, you and all your choices, Carrie. I'm like, oh yeah, baby, me and all my choices. And they were all running around going, I choose, I choose, I choose. And it was so funny because they were doing it without recognizing that they were doing it. At points they knew they were doing it, and they were doing it more and more to be funny. And I was like, that's awesome. Step into your choice, friend. Go ahead, because every word empowers it. And so when they were then they were just naturally doing it by the end by saying, I choose this and I choose that. And the dance of your choice empowers your choice at larger and larger levels, because we're remembering every time I choose, I empower choice. I am the return of my choice. And that's the re-empowerment, is your re-empowering choice with every time you say the word choose. So how many choices do you choose to have? And if you desire ever expanding choices, choices that are past your known reality, then begin stepping into simply, I choose. I choose to go to the store. I choose to feel this. The other thing I will tell you while we're here is you cannot choose for other people. Cancel.
Ah.
You know, you could try, but it is not your highest choice to choose for other people. I choose for my child to go to the store. I choose for my child to clean his room. I choose for my child to do this. Because do you enjoy people choosing for you?
No.
I already know the answer to that. I'm like, everybody is like, no, uh-uh. And so we cannot choose for other people. But how do we do that? How do we have the people around us step into choice? The same way that I did on that boat. When I stay in my choice and I continually say I choose, people step into their choice automatically, naturally around you, because you're living in the belief that there are infinite choices.
Yes.
You are living in the power of infinite choices, and it is in you, pressed down and overflowing. When we say pressed down and overflowing, when you're believing in it, when you're the full embodiment of choice, it's in you, pressed down and overflowing, and everyone around you gets it and steps into their choice. Because energy of choosing for other people is, once again, giving your power away, because it's a moment where you've left your choice to try to give it to someone else. And we give it within us, and we give it to ourselves again and again and again, simply by I choose.
Awesome. So you will find in your guide the homework and the language. There's 2 pieces for tomorrow, and we're completing our discussion today with that you do have choice. And tomorrow, our guest speaker is Alicia Howry, and she does a couple of different things. One is you can find her on Facebook at Connection Evolution, and she also does Sacred Stays, and she is currently in a project with writing with a group of other authors on forgiveness. And Alicia is going to speak into her experience of choosing when we are together tomorrow. And so we look forward to having her as our guest. So again, you know how to find your homework and your play sheets. And if you have any questions or require support, remember hashtag my pattern underneath the video. And then we request as you go through and listen or have comments that you actually put things in the comment boxes rather than just liking something, even if it's just a yes or a yay or thank you. It supports Carrie and I as we continue to grow and empower our own power of embody. Thank you. Carrie, did you have something to add?
Nope, that is all. Check your guide
Awesome.
section, jump in, grab the homework. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Thank you so much for being with us today. We are super stoked about what we are doing and the power that we are asking as Carrie and I step into our own power on greater and greater levels with every class we teach, with every video we record, everything that we create. We are just having our own massive movements, and we are so grateful for the audience that we have, every single one of you, for investing in yourself and investing in your own time and space to and showing up.
Yes.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
And we'll see you tomorrow at 9:00. And remember, if you choose to share this, share it with your friends, let them know, jump on. If you're watching the replay, it's okay. Just let us know you're replaying. Because we're going to keep this up, and we're going to keep this live. We're going to keep these recordings available to you of these live sessions this whole week. We're going to keep them up for about 30 days, unless we get assigned for something else. But currently 30 days. And so replay it, listen to it when you're walking, however it is that you feed yourself. Make it easy. In the morning when you take your walk, plug it in, watch the replay from the day before, show up at 9:00, listen in your car, driving around, while you're doing things around the house, plug in your AirPods, listen to it. There's many ways that we can listen and allow this to come into our system. So we've left this here for you to be able to have it when you require it. So jump in, listen, and we'll see you tomorrow morning at 9:00 on reEmPower.
Bye. Blessings and choice. Take care.